Balancing redox reactions, we're going to be looking at acidic reactions to begin with. First, you need to write separate oxidation and reduction reactions. For each of those half reactions, we're going to balance elements other than hydrogen and oxygen, then balance oxygen by adding waters, balance hydrogen by adding hydrogen ions, and balance the charge by adding electrons. Then, if necessary, you need to multiply both reactions by a number so the electrons will cancel out, and then add the half reactions and cancel like terms. We're going to work through these steps to solve this one. You can list out all of your oxidation numbers to figure out what changed, but my chromium and carbon changed. So some you can just look at to figure out your oxidation and reduction equations like this one. Some you're actually going to have to list out your oxidation numbers to figure it out. So the first thing I need to do is balance my elements other than hydrogen or oxygen, which in the first case is chromium. So I need to add a 2 there. And the bottom reaction is carbon, and so I need to add a 2 there. Next, I balance oxygens by adding waters. I have 7 oxygens on the reactants, so I need to add 7 waters to the products. On the second reaction, I have 4 oxygen on the products and only 1 on the reactants, so I needed to add 3 waters. Don't forget about your coefficients. So on the product side, we had 4 oxygens, not 2. Next, you balance hydrogen ions. I didn't have any on the reactants, but I had 14 on the products, so I had 14 hydrogen ions. Don't forget the charge. And on the second reaction, I had 6 from the waters and 6 from the C2H5OH, so that's 12 hydrogens. Next, you balance your charges. I have a plus 12 on the reactants and a plus 6 on the products. My electrons are going to make the charge go down. They just need to equal each other. They don't have to equal 0. So I need to add it to my reactants, and I need to add 6. Because negative 6 and a positive 12 gives me a positive 6. So my charges are going to equal each other. I'm going to do the same thing for the bottom reaction. I have no charge on the water and no charge on the C2H5OH. So I need the products to equal 0, so I need to add 12 electrons. Notice the electrons do not cancel out though, so I'm going to have to multiply that top reaction by some number to give me 12. So I need to multiply that whole top reaction by 2. Going to bring down all of my reactants and sum them up, and all of my products and sum them up. Don't forget your charges. And now you're going to cancel any like terms that are the same on both sides. So my electrons should cancel. I have hydrogen on both sides. I have 12, which cancels that completely, and 28, which turns to 16. So cross out the smaller amount and subtract from the bigger. My waters, reactants cancel out, leaving me with 11 on the product side. Nothing else cancels, so now I just rewrite it. And when you rewrite it, you can see where that hydrogen and water came from in the original reaction. because I have 16, 2 dichromates, 1 ethanol, 4 chromium, 2 carbon dioxide, and 11 waters. Go ahead and pause the video and try writing your half reactions on your own, restarting when you have them written. You should have gotten As2O3 yields H3AS4, and NO3 negative yields NO as your other reaction. Go ahead and pause the video and try balancing them on your own. First, you should balance your elements other than hydrogen or oxygen, so we needed 2, and the bottom reaction's balanced. Then you balance oxygens by adding waters. We need more oxygen on the reactant side of that top one. We have 3 on the reactants and 8 on the products. So you should have added 5 waters. And then for our hydrogen ions, we have 10 as a reactant and 6 on the product, so we need 4 on the product side. And finally, we have no charge on the reactants and a positive 4 on the products, so we need 4 electrons to cancel that out. In the bottom reaction, we need 2 more oxygens on the products, so we add 2 waters. Next, we need to balance hydrogens. None on the reactants, 4 on the products, so we add 4 hydrogen ions to the reactants. And finally, balance the charge. Don't forget that we have a charge on NO3, so we just need to add 3 electrons. So now our electrons need to cancel out, so we're going to need to multiply both reactions in this case. Sometimes you multiply one, sometimes you multiply both, sometimes you don't need to multiply at all. Okay, our lowest common multiple was 12, so we multiplied the first reaction by 3 and our second reaction by 4. Bringing it down while multiplying. You get this. Now canceling like terms. Our electrons should cancel always. Our waters, we have 8 and we have 15, so that turns into a 7. And our hydrogen ions, we have 16 and 12, so that turns into a 4. It's the only thing that we can cancel, so now we just rewrite. And this is our balanced equation.